Our next speaker is Carrie Simpson, whose work is entitled Stretching Sex Effects, Length and Angle Matter in Muscle. Carrie.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here. So it seems like when we think about exercise, our first thought is just random confusion. What the heck is going on? We hear confusing things about cardio. We hear confusing things about strength training, but we don't hear much at all about stretching. So what I looked at was how stretching affects the muscle and the tendon unit in the gastrocnemius, which you can see in the top middle there. See, we hear things like we should eat our vegetables, and then we shouldn't because they have pesticide on them, and then we should exercise every day, or then take a few days off, but we don't hear a lot about stretching. Maybe it's because it takes too long, or maybe we just don't make time for it. Whatever it is, stretching is like the flossing of the exercise world. We only do it when we know it's going to be checked up on. So we used ultrasound, which you can see in the bottom right there. That's a screenshot of the gastrocnemius. Again, you can see it up in the top middle. We used ultrasound to track the changes of the muscle and tendon unit. The tendon was the Achilles, which you can see in the top middle. So we took men and women. We got them to do a maximum plantar flexion. For those of you that don't know what that is, that's pushing on your toes as hard as you can, or a maximum toe point. Then we subjected them to a maximum stretch in the opposite direction, got them to pull their toes up towards their shin, and held it there for 2 minutes before we reversed that and got them to do the plantar flexion again. We used the ultrasound to track the mechanical changes, and we also used electrical stimulation, which you can see up in the top corner there on the leg, to make sure the person was maximally activating their muscle. So our preliminary results are really cool. You can see here in the bottom some of our results. Initially, we believed that women would be about the same for men for stretch. Maybe it's just because women tend to stretch more, but we saw that women tend to have a lengthened tendon after they stretch. So in this graph, the women are red and the men are blue. The first set of bars is the pre-stretch, and the second set of bars is the post-stretch. So you can see there's a significant change in the female tendon where there's no change at all in the male tendon. What does this mean? It means that women tend to absorb the stretch into their tendon. Now, really interestingly, men showing no change in their tendon didn't affect their muscle fibers because they showed a change in their muscle fiber length where women didn't. So although they were subjected to the same perturbation, men and women absorbed the stretch differently. What this means is if a woman went into the gym, decided to do some stretching, and then started to do some force production, she would first have to take up the slack that she created by the stretch in her tendon. Then if a man went into the gym and did the same thing, he wouldn't have to take up the slack, and in fact, he put his muscle fibers in a better situation to produce force. So what can we take away from this? Well, if a woman stretches, she may create sag in her tendon that decreases her force production. Whereas if a man stretches, he might be doing himself something great. So get to yoga, boys.